Saints Central is at Belvedere Park in Seaford, where the St Kilda Football Club this week announced it has received the green light to go ahead with the planning and development of its $11 million elite training and administration facility. While it may look like a wide open expanse of parkland at present, this site in Seaford will be transformed over the coming year to house the Saints and become a community sporting precinct in time for the 2010 AFL season. Today we had the chance to catch up with Saints CEO Archie Fraser and George Modrich, CEO of the Frankston City Council, to discuss how the move will impact the local community and what it means for the Saints. So Archie, first and foremost, congratulations for finalising St Kilda's long-awaited move to Frankston. What does this mean for the club and its supporters?
Well, I think it's the culmination of obviously a few years' work, and certainly 18 months' worth of work with our partners here, the Frankston City Council. It means that we can really move forward quickly, develop the elite training facility that we've been talking about for long enough now. So and be in here, middle of 2010. So big step forward for the club, and I think a great outcome from a point of view of community, local community, and the local footy as well, and obviously the Frankston City Council and all the partners, including the AFL and the state government, who have all been really integral and worked pretty hard to make this a reality.
And while the Saints achieved their desired outcome, the operation took a bit longer than we might have expected. Can you briefly explain what the hold-up was?
Oh well, look, I think all these projects, go from being challenging to rewarding to to a final outcome. I think in any case of a project such as this, the size of this, all the boxes have to be ticked, and all the partners have to be comfortable with the outcome. There's no question that the Frankston Park, which was the original site at Frankston, it simply, unfortunately, didn't come up from a point of view of dollar-wise. The club was keen to make sure that we didn't go into some high level of debt, but at the same time keen to get the elite facility up as soon as we could. So a combination of making sure that we spend our members' funds really wisely and get the right outcome for the football club and all the stakeholders, which is, as I've said, this wouldn't have been possible without the state government and the local council and the AFL.
Of course, the original site was scheduled to be Frankston Park, but now we've settled on Belvedere. George, can you tell us a little bit about the differences between the two sites and how they compare?
Look, probably the advantage that this site has got, it's a greater size, and therefore we're going to be able to create an MCG-sized oval, which we wouldn't have been able to do at Frankston Park. The car parking here is going to be better, and I guess the main thing is that it can be built within the budget here, which it couldn't be at Frankston Park. That's really what it came down to.
And Archie, Belvedere Park in Seaford already has quite a significant link to the Saints, I believe.
Yeah, we probably weren't aware when we started to look at the alternate sites in conjunction with the council. And this site is, it's the home of where our champion Robert Harvey played his early football. In fact, we had Harves down here earlier today, obviously, for the launch, and it was where he started kicking a footy and learnt his footy. And ironically, here we are bringing the Saints back to Rob Harvey's backyard. So, I think there's a nice twist to that one.
Will the change of site affect when the Saints move to Frankston?
Well, I think, as I said before, it's probably mid-2010 now. There's some advantages with the site. We still have to go through the statutory planning process and obviously work with the council and the other parties on the right design to make sure we get the right outcome from a community perspective. But I would think that it's probably the project will be delivered a bit earlier here than it would have been probably at Frankston Park, just simply because the site's a wee bit easier.
And how much will the project cost, and who is paying?
Funding for the project, it's approximately going to be about $11 million to build the complete facility. The Frankston City Council have agreed to $3 million for the funding. The AFL have agreed to 2.55, and the state government have been good enough to transfer the funding both from Moorabbin and then ultimately from Frankston Park to this site, and they're contributing 3.45, and the Saints pick up the balance. So we're at this stage in for a minimum of 1.45, and we'd expect to try and to build that on time and on budget, so that we deliver the outcomes, but we make sure we keep it on track.
And George, with the Frankston City Council injecting so much money into the move, what sort of benefits can you expect the move to generate for the local community?
Yep. Look, $3 million sounds like a lot of money, but over 50 years that's $60,000 a year, which is not very much when you look at it. You look at the media exposure that Frankston's already had in terms of its partnership with the Saints, and going forward from here, it can only get better. We've got access for the local schools to what is going to be a very large oval, also the access to the rehabilitation pool and access to the basketball courts and other facilities that the Saints have got here.
Well, it all sounds fantastic, Archie. There will be many St Kilda supporters who are a bit disappointed the club didn't retain and develop their traditional home at Moorabbin. What can you say to them?
Well, I think pretty much anybody who's followed the saga is that we went to Moorabbin to play games back in 1965, and certainly over the last few years that the board and the executives have tried to, I suppose, get something up at Kingston Council and with a potential staying at Moorabbin. That wasn't possible, so I suppose that's new history, and really we see this as part of our long-term strategy, which it is, to make sure that we're firmly cemented as a club in Melbourne and firmly cemented as a Bayside club.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.
Go Saints.
Appreciate it. Thanks, George.
Good luck for the
Good on you,
finals.
mate. Thanks, Phil.
So there you have it, Sainters. Direct from St Kilda CEO Archie Fraser and George Modrich, CEO of the Frankston City Council. It may have taken some time, but we're finally here and can start planning and development immediately. So Belvedere Park, watch this space.